Viewer from Coon Rapids wants to, this viewer is opposed to the discussion about medical marijuana and marijuana in the legislature because the viewer believes there are more important issues. We have another viewer who is concerned about the marijuana issue, medical marijuana issue as well. There's been a lot of coverage about it. What's going on? What can you tell us about it? Where do you stand on these questions? We start with you, Representative. Go ahead.
Medical marijuana. I support medical marijuana. I've got 3 children in my district that have seizures. And one thing we found out is that medical marijuana is a type of marijuana called Charlotte's Web, reduces those seizures. And one of our children had like 15 seizures a day, and was taking a large number of medications that were toxic on her. And she's moved to Colorado. With the medical marijuana, it's reduced her seizures down to 1 or sometimes none a day, and they've taken off most of her medications. Now, here's what it's doing. It's restoring her life. It's giving her back herself. If we can do that through legislation, I'm all for it. I'm not for legalizing recreational marijuana. That's the last thing I want to do. And we've got a good bill in the House that puts limits on what type of marijuana you can use, where it can be bought, where it can be sold. It's going to help a lot of people. If we can help people end suffering, restore their lives through a piece of legislation, I'm for it.
Well, I would take the opposite view, and I have great empathy for children especially and people who suffer from things that maybe medical marijuana can treat. My problem with this whole process is that, quite frankly, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher, and so now they're asking the legislature to weigh in on a topic that we really don't know about. And this is going through the committee process. I've been told that the Commissioner of the Department of Health has been pretty tepid about taking on this large responsibility. I think if we're going to have a discussion about medical marijuana, when drugs are approved to be used as medicine, they go through an FDA approval. There hasn't been any FDA approval on some of these things. I'm concerned about this being, the camel's nose under the tent to recreational marijuana. When there's been rallies at the Capitol on days that the medical marijuana has been discussed in committee and so forth, or they organize these things, the groups that are interested in legalizing marijuana have shown up probably in larger numbers than the people who have legitimate concerns about how are we going to get some sort of a medical marijuana bill passed. I am interested in taking a look at what they did over in Wisconsin. I think that's a model. I've not seen that bill. I've heard a fair amount about it. We have the bill in the House. It's coming over from the Senate, I believe. The Senate passed it. But I still have some very, very serious reservations about the medical marijuana stuff. And one of the things that's in the bill that, us in rural Minnesota, we have a lot of comments made to us about what's going on in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and it's just as far from St. Paul to Roseau as it is from Roseau to St. Paul. Well, one of the things that's in the bill is that if medical marijuana is this really good thing, we're only going to have one dispensary in the state. There's only going to be one company that's doing this stuff. And that's going to be here in the metro area. So if you live outstate, greater Minnesota, as we like to refer to it, how are we going to do all this stuff? There's just so many unanswered questions here, and I'm not a supporter at this point.
Last thought?
Well, I don't think we've determined where the dispensary is going to be yet. No. So, and hopefully it's in rural Minnesota, but well, I don't know if that's going to happen either. So.